So tonight I'm here with a very, very special guest. This is somebody who I've been talking to for about 2 years, and I have been nagging and pestering to come onto the show as a guest. And finally, over the weekend, there's a few things that have occurred that have made him say, bugger it, I'm going to do it. This man, his name is Tim. He has a channel called Timothy of Cox. I urge everybody out there to subscribe to this channel.
By the way.
Yep, we've got it on the screen here. So it's Timothy of Cox. So good evening, Tim.
How are you, mate?
I'm doing great. Very excited to have you here. So to introduce you to the audience, you're a person that I've been chatting with for a long time. You're a person that I've ran a lot of ideas off the channel. You're always someone I go to when I've got an idea, but I'm not quite sure how to do it for a video. But enough about that. What has changed your mind? What has finally got you to say, okay, that's it, I want to do this show with you?
You know, I've been compiling a lot of various videos from YouTube, probably dating back to like even 2008, referring to like just the different feminist videos and the fight back, that even the big fight back that happened during 2016. And I've always wanted to actually start doing some YouTube stuff, but yeah, I never really quite had the time. And one of the most amazing things that I heard in the recent history of my search was understanding mitigates pain. And you can go one of two ways, and a lot of blokes go one way and some blokes go the other. And I guess the most important thing is understanding why your situation is the way it is, and understanding where you're at fault, and understanding where the system is at fault, and fighting back against that. So yeah, I kind of, you have been bugging me, mate. You really have. And, you've finally gotten through to me, because I must admit, one thing that has triggered me is the recent Brittany Higgins stuff. And, I think, the whole issue of men's issues is starting to come to a front and starting to become popular. And I think there are a lot of us that have been, researching it, like yourself, mate, way back into the past. And we've got such a broader scope of the decline of society. It's something that politicians can lie and omit about all they want, but it's visible. It's around us. What is that Eagles song? You can't hide those lying eyes.
Very true. So I think the thing that motivates you about this, and it's very similar to what motivates me. Now, I think the number one issue, the number one bit of damage that feminists are causing is parental alienation. This is, to me, is something that we need to push back against and really fight against.
Yeah. It's a form of domestic abuse, I believe. Yes.
Absolutely. So your experience, can you tell the audience your experience when it comes to that?
Well, it's not just my experience, mate. It's the extended family. It's also the child. I mean, parental alienation is not just, it's not just the father being out of the home. It's the father's parents. It's the child's grandparents. I remember, I could tell you a story, and, we could cut it short. And let's just say the mother of my child was a victim of parental alienation. Her father was alienated from her. And my mother knew her father, and he was always wanting to keep in touch with her. So a lot of this is generational behaviour, and it's an abuse that's gone through generations, and it's learned behaviour. It's part of that nurture, not the nature of people, it's a nurture. And yeah, it affects a lot of people.
That's the number one issue.
Absolutely.
I say it's the number one problem, and the number one thing that needs to be fought against is basically the fact that in this country and in the Western world, men are second-class citizens when it comes to obtaining custody of their children. It's very, very rare for fathers to have equal custody.
Extremely rare.
It's almost unheard of for a father to have
when was the last time you heard about a single father?
You just don't hear about it. So I talk a lot about other things, the gender pay gap and all this other sort of stuff. But this, to me, is at the heart of it. And Absolutely. This is why when feminists get into parliament and they say silly things, they really need to be mocked and they need to be ridiculed. And there's very few people out there who are willing to do that. So that really motivates me, that I feel I have to do it. Because if these feminists continue to win battle after battle after battle, things are only going to get worse. Unless it's fought against, they're going to get worse. So
I think there's this turnaround that's happening, and we see it in declining marriage rates. You know, a lot of young men now realise this, and they're starting to rebel against that. And you see it in groups like MGTOW, men going their own way, and it's translated into various countries. You know, China it's the laying down men, and Japan it's the grass-fed men. You get to a point where you go, well, what's the best course of action? And my course of action is to fight. And I fight on a more social level. I actually want to reach Parliament. I want Parliament to have a minister for men. I want, you know, men to have a voice. The lower and middle class men, you know.
But so, I think that's the idea. So I think,
and that's how I want that change to happen. I don't want to fight it through the courts. I want my daughter to grow through an age where people start to see that that atrocity against rights, family rights, and to fight against it. And my daughter to grow through that age like someone grew through feminism and saw, you know, the changes that need to happen through then. It was organic. Yeah.
So what we've decided to do is we're going to do one video a week together for an hour, and we're going to screen it on a Tuesday evening at 7:30, and we're going to go through it's a copy of the ABC's Media Watch. This is going to be about all the ridiculous things that feminists have done in the week. Yep. And I need the audience's help too. So if you see a politician making a ridiculous feminist speech, send it to me, send it to Tim, and we're going to pull it apart.
Absolutely.
Piece by piece. If you're out there, please, if you see anything silly, a politician or any person in power making ridiculous feminist comments, please send it to us and we will pull it apart. Please contact us because we do need help. It's very, very hard to fight feminism when, you know, we're a couple of guys who have other jobs. This is not our full-time job at all. Yep. We're doing this in our spare time, literally. We could be playing FIFA on the Xbox. I would have more fun doing that, but I feel this is something that needs to be fought against. If feminism was defeated tomorrow and I had millions of dollars in the bank, I would play FIFA for days on end, and I would. It sounds heavenly right now. But at the moment, there's too many out of control feminists in our parliament. So let's start the show with some of the crazy nonsense that's happened this week.
All right, sweet.